Wow! What an evening! A Trogdon had gone to the store, and I had no idea it had already happened. I had no idea until I found out that one fateful night. It was already too late. You see, once I had this clock, and I used to keep it by the beach, and I used to sit and watch the moon rise over cloudies. I received my first PPA pass in my sophomore year of school. It was the best. I decided that opening iMovie by accident was not the most productive way to spend my time. So I threw my PP pass in the ocean. My PP pass was already wet, so it wasn't much of a sacrifice. I then decided that I had to sacrifice my immoral soul to the glorious waves of the ocean. I jumped up and screamed, "Hey, Bobby is here!" Well, folks, nature took its course, and before I knew it, I was being dragged away by the local police. When they asked me what I thought I was doing sacrificing my soul to the sea, I replied with this short answer: I wish to do what I want with my own soul, not yours. Apparently that wasn't enough for them, so they dragged my posterior on the hard, cold, concrete floor to a jail cell. The cell was stinky, and oh so desolate. There was a toilet in the corner filled to the brim with human waste. I thought to myself, this would have been a good time to have my PP pass with me. Suddenly, one of the prison guards yelled at me, "Go number 2." I was startled out of my cranky wits, so it took me a moment to compose myself. After I did that, I sat my concrete-driven posterior on the refuse-covered toilet seat, and before me or the guard knew it, there were bumpy piles of stinky excrement inside of the toilet bowl. I thought to myself, I wish I could go home for Christmas. I then decided that I needed to get out. I knew a guy who worked with wood, so I figured if I used my one phone call to ask him to bring some good old power tools to the cell and get me out, it would work. They gave me the phone, and I dialed his number. To my surprise, he agreed. I told him that they had movie cameras on the walls and on the ceiling, so he had to find a way not to be seen by them. He said he had a laser pointer that could melt the camera sensors. I thought that was delightful, so I screamed. Yeah, the guards looked at me strangely, and then looked away. I was excited for tonight. When I went to bed that night, I had splendid thoughts of being free and spending Christmas outside of jail. Sometime in the middle of the night, I got awoken by my friend, who was standing right outside of the prison cell holding loads of power tools, ready to activate full blast. I was so excited and delighted. He said, "Okay buddy, let's cut through these bars and go home." "Yeah," I said. He started one of his strong power saws with great glee. He started to cut through the bars, which created lots of sparks and noise. I was afraid the police would come in and notice, but to our delight, they did not. Once he had cut through the lock, he opened it. I walked out with such pleasure. I was so happy to be free. We exited the jail with much joy and happiness. He drove me home in his new hearse. He said he got it at a farm auction. That night, I went to bed and reflected on my day. But I was most happy about being home for Christmas.